Okay.
Chris, you guys good? Tina, you good?
From the cups, yeah.
You leave one bottle up here, don't forget here.
Áðr Burs synir bjöðum á möbdu. Du Midgard en scope.
Stand back.
Så sken sunana og salarsteina. Da var grunngråin greien om lauki.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, and thank you, friends and family that are here today to share this union of Tanya and Chris. Mankind continually attempts to reach for divine understanding and acceptance. The Norse religion, known to many as Asatru or heathenism, was of course no exception. What are you watching? That's okay. It provided a means of doing what was fitting for the Vikings' time and place. Even though some aspects of it may strike modern culture as bizarre, if we approach it with the open mind it deserves, we can recognize within the common human quest to live life in the presence of the transcendent majesty and joy of the sacred. Even though it's been 1,000 years since the last Vikings laid down their sword, people today continue to be inspired by the vitality and wonder of the Norse myths and the gods who inhabit them. Many of you recognize the names not from tales shared over centuries, but of the tales of one Stan Lee. Names like Odin, Thor, Freya, Frigga, Hel, Loki, and so on. These gods and goddesses were originally honored by the Vikings for their gifts of fertility, strong livestock, and bountiful harvests, not characters from a comic book or movie. There are 3 ancient traditions you have witnessed already. The first, the giving of an armband to a child, is a gift of both thanks and ascendancy. They are a gift of thanks meant to cement the bonds of loyalty between a lord and his warriors in a society where men lived and died by their honor. They were also bestowed upon the youth to symbolize their coming of age. Kaylee, Caleb, Dominic, Tiana, you have been and will continue to be warriors of the family, now with a common bond. The second, Vikings celebrated warriors, one of whom you're very familiar with, Thor. Thor's weapon of choice, his trusted hammer. As the tales of Thor grew throughout Viking lore, it became tradition that a couple be presented with the hammer as a sign of stability, fertility, constitution, and strength. Chris, Tanya, I told you prior I had a surprise for you. This is your surprise. A ceremonial hammer to bless this union.
Thank you.
The final tradition, as the wedding party took their spots at the table, they were each served mead. Mead is a traditional celebratory beverage of the Vikings, and many blessings would not be complete without the mead present. With that, I hallow this horn of mead to the gods and goddesses high and holy. Áðr, Vanir, first known in the north, Frigga and Odin, Thor and Sif, Freya and Freyr, Beder and Nanna, Disir and Afar, bless this union. The Norse believe the world is enchanted. They don't feel the need to seek salvation from the world, but instead are delighted in and marveled at the way things are, including what we today would both call nature and culture. Their religion and myths didn't sugarcoat sordidness, strife, and unfairness of earthly life, but instead acknowledged it and praised the attempt to master it through the accomplishments of great deeds for the benefit of oneself and one's people. A life full of such deeds is what was deemed the good life for the Vikings. As we stand before the goddess of unions, Freya, we ask that she bless this union so that Tanya and Chris may live the good life. Committing fully to one another is life's greatest gifts, and it is a blessing to make these promises with your soulmate. As you hold on to one another, you will find deeper loves of joy, happiness, and peace together. Your union is the foundation upon which you will build the rest of your lives, and despite any adversity, will always be there to sustain you. Chris and Tanya, take a moment. Sense the tremendous amount of love radiating through this space. As you stand here today before the gods of old, before those gathered here in your honor, and before one another, take note that after you speak your vows this day, your lives will never be the same. A union, regardless of any preconceived notions you may have, has the capacity to deepen, challenge, and strengthen you and your relationship in ways you never thought possible. The joy you find as you pursue your shared lives together will fuel you to face head-on challenges you'll encounter on this earth. On your journeys together, keep each other in the space of highest priority in your heart. Learn to work together, laugh together, and to love together. Don't get caught up in the worldly things that will draw you apart. Instead, focus on your shared devotion and turn inward. As your relationship strengthens, you will find that you come to share remarkable love, a love that is both abundantly given and freely accepted. Dominic, how you doing, bud? Good. May we have the rings.
No. Let's take a picture of her.
Right? These rings represent the vows and promises you're about to exchange. They reflect an outward and visible sign of the inward and invisible bond which already unites you two hearts in love. May they remind you that this commitment is not a destination but a journey, with no beginning and no end. just a moment-to-moment opportunity to love and be loved to the best of your ability. Chris, before your honored guests and family and the gods, do you give yourself to Tanya? If so, answer, I do.
I do.
Tanya, before your honored guests, family, and the gods, do you give yourself to Chris?
I do.
Chris and Tanya, having heard that is your intention to be committed to each other in a blessed union, I now ask you to declare your vows. Please face each other and hold hands. Chris, will you begin by placing the ring on Tanya's finger?
This is my honor, my oath, and my word.
Your turn.
This is my honor, my oath, and my word.
The Vikings were proud to utilize every possible item from creatures they kept as livestock, or hunted, and eventually used for food. The hides, hooves, horns, and even at times blood were used so as not to waste the earthly gifts from the gods. Part of that practice included an earthly sacrifice to the gods. Chris and Tanya, while the words you have spoken have sealed your union, it is the fasting of your hands and christening of them with the blood from today's meal that seals your bond to both the gods and one another. Please join your hands, interlacing them. As your hands meet your partners, look into their eyes. Recall the joys and sorrows you have celebrated and endured together. Take note of the support you're feeling and know that this support will always exist for you. In the tradition of our forefathers, we will now fasten your hands as we did and bathe them in the sacrificial blood of this evening's dinner. May this creature's sacrifice bring a feast to our friends and families here and the gods above.
We did
Good?
it. Yeah.
Sweet. All right, as we bind your bodies, so do we bind your spirits. Your lives as your hands are now bound. While the binding of your hands will eventually be removed, know that union is binding your hearts in a permanent knot, a gift that will bless you for the rest of your days. Everyone has advice for couples. Chris and Tanya, I offer these good wishes to you on this special day. May the gods be with you and bless you. May you see your children's children. May you be poor in misfortune and rich in blessings. May you know nothing but happiness from this day forward.
All hail Odin, the All-Father. May he bless this unity.
Cool.
Hail, hail, Freya.
Tanya and Chris, it has been my pleasure to preside over your commitment to each other. Please seal your union with a kiss.
Ma mise là?
Yeah, all of it.
You drink it?
Like, I'm not drinking that.
Go, guys.
Drink it? Keep the class.
Once everybody makes their way back to the top of the hill, you are welcome to follow the path up. Give them your greetings, your blessings, say congratulations, whatever you want to do. After that, please make your way to the reception site, which is the Gaslight. If you are unfamiliar with where that is, I can help you find that after we get cleaned up here a little bit. There is a hosted keg outside the back of the bar, which is also where dinner and dancing will be. Between now and dinner, feel free to hone your skills with the games that are set up near the tent. Dinner will be served approximately 5 o'clock with dancing to follow. Thank you very much, guys, and go on up and say congratulations. Just don't walk underneath the drone while he's landing it if he does.
Again tonight.
Why's that?
He's well, he's part of Justin, our daughter. So you married him last week.
Yeah.
Week before.
Oh, is Kyle gonna be there tonight?
Yep.
Oh, nice.
Yep. Jessica's working, so she'll be.
Okay.
Too.
Nice. Oh, so she's actually working the bar?
No. She's working at the hospital.
Oh, gotcha.
Yep. And then Kyle's gonna, when she gets off, then she'll be down the gas.
So I'll see them again.
Yeah. How they find you?
Chris is my cousin.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So when he told me he was doing this, I'm like, well, dude, I'm a minister, officially ordained minister now.
Yeah.
He's really? I'm like, yeah. And then I showed him my tattoo, and I'm like, I know what you're doing. I sent him sent a picture of my tattoo, and he just goes, dude. I'm like, right? It's like it was meant to be or something.
Yeah. Well, the girls recognized you right away. Yeah.
Well, and the trick was in writing this script was, I mean, I understand a good portion of the mythology and how things go. It was just trying to fit in how to explain what they're doing, what they want to do. So people go, oh my God, this is like steak. I did a good job with that.
Oh, you did good. Something we have never seen before.
And because everybody's standing and there's no real like normal seats for people, I told them like it's gonna be 10, maybe 15 minutes at the most. I'm like, you're probably talking 10, you know. And I'll know how long it was based on the video because I had the cameras rolling behind you there on the table.
Okay.
So hopefully that picked up everything good.
Yeah.
The drone.
The drone was looking. Everybody was looking for G's and
Well, and what cracks me up is I've flown my drone at like Pioneer Park, and we were doing an event in town with the city. And one of the city council members is like, oh, so you're the one that's got that drone that I've been getting calls about. I'm like, what do you mean? Well, you got some of your neighbors down here that they think you're spying on them.
Yeah.
And I said to her, I said, you know what? I said, I'll be honest with you. I said, none of my neighbors' lives are so goddamn interesting that I want to spy on them with a drone. And she was like, oh. And I'm like, I'm serious. I can care less what my neighbors do.
Yeah.
And I said, but since you're complaining about it, let's just see exactly how close I have to get in order for me to spy on somebody with my drone in their window.
Yeah.
And in that process, I had that thing about 4 feet over our head.